Severe weather looking more and more likely as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Monday in these areas. And as this storm also moves east, we're looking at snow in the forecast for parts of Michigan, and it could be heavy. And I'll tell you what, these thunderstorms that we're going to be watching over the next couple of days that could be strong to severe ultimately will impact how strong our low pressure area is in the Northeast. There's a lot to unpack. Let's do it. On Monday, the big player will be this trough that's digging into the west. We'll also watch surface area low pressure develop here across the plain states. Out ahead of it, warm, humid air off the Gulf of Mexico plunging north. Dew points will increase. We've got the instability. Then we're going to move that cold air in the upper levels over top of that warmer, unstable air, and that's going to destabilize the atmosphere even more. In the mid and upper levels, we've got a really strong jet streak pushing through Texas into Oklahoma. The front right side of these jet streaks are where you need to look for severe weather, and that's where I think the threat will mainly be. And that would be Oklahoma, into Missouri, and eventually into parts of Illinois. As our warm front stretches out to the east, we'll have to watch that interaction too. A lot of strong wind shear with the atmosphere too, and that's going to cause those tornadoes. Look at the significant tornado parameter. This is always a great index to look at because anything over 1, wherever you see thunderstorms fire, is what you need to watch for. And this is a setup where I think we're going to see supercells. They could get strong, and they could be strong overnight. Look at these numbers, 11, 10. Anything over 1 is something you have to watch when you get severe thunderstorms moving through. So this is a clear sign that tornadoes are looking likely. Some of them could be strong to violent as we head into Monday night, and then into Tuesday. Things shift off to the east. So now we're looking at that increased tornado parameter right here from central Indiana down into Kentucky. I would argue Tennessee, maybe even parts of West Virginia. Now, West Virginia isn't known for tornadoes. In fact, working in West Virginia for years, the saying was West Virginia is where tornadoes come to die. And mostly that's because of the cooler air that you run into once you start moving up into the Appalachians. But you move down towards the lowlands, down towards Huntington, Charleston, out toward Ashland, Kentucky, eastern Kentucky. I think you got to watch this as we head into Tuesday for severe thunderstorms and even some tornadoes just because of that significant tornado parameter that is pretty high. So here's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center on Sunday. This is for Monday, a large area of marginal thunderstorms. These are severe thunderstorms with that slight risk and enhanced risk right here that we just outlined from Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, back through Missouri. And again, I think this area here into Illinois, Missouri, back into Oklahoma, this will be the place to watch heading into Monday evening with a hashed area right here. That tells you that the Storm Prediction Center is concerned that there's a higher risk for tornadoes. That includes cities like Springfield, Missouri, Evansville, Indiana, Joplin, Missouri. So if you're in these areas, you'll want to be weather aware heading into Monday. And look, don't discount these numbers here, this 5% area that includes places like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, over to Louisville, even Norman, Oklahoma. I think tornadoes are all on the table for these areas. And even further south, I said, look, watch Texas too as the dry line punches to the east. For Thursday, our threat pushes all the way into the mid-Atlantic. So we're talking about Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, again, Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way down into the deep south. I still think there's a chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms here. But that primary threat, you saw the significant tornado parameter there overnight. And then as we go into Tuesday here from Kentucky into southern Ohio and West Virginia and into Tuesday afternoon, moving east. So let's time some of this out as we move into Monday. We've got the rain going here, even a few embedded thunderstorms. It will be interesting because as we get these thunderstorms forming, I think especially heading into Monday night and Tuesday in this area, with thunderstorms forming, you're actually releasing latent heat in the upper atmosphere. That's going to matter because ultimately that will actually impact how our low pressure forms on the East Coast that could potentially bring us the snow into the Northeast. In fact, the National Weather Service out of Boston, I was looking at some of the things that they were putting out. They mentioned that. I thought that was an interesting thing to think about. You get these thunderstorms that are literally billowing up into the atmosphere. As they do so, as we're seeing that condensation, that releases heat into the atmosphere. Technically, it would be warming the atmosphere. How does that affect where things place in the models? Well, the long-range global models do a terrible job of refining some of these details, so it could be a reason that maybe they're underperforming on the snow, maybe they're overperforming. I think by tomorrow and especially into Tuesday, we'll have a better idea of what's going to be happening Thursday in the Northeast. So Give it a day or two. We're still a little far out, but look at these storms heading into Tuesday morning across the Ohio Valley. Those will need to be watched, I think. Even though we're in the morning hours, there's a lot of wind shear, and then that pushes off to the east, and then heading into Tuesday afternoon, another line looks to form here. This could be the strong storms, not that the first round wasn't, and then those look to be more linear, lining up into the afternoon. This would actually be the end of this mid-range run of the NAM, but you can see we've got these storms going here from Ohio back into Kentucky and Tennessee. Let's talk about the Plains states up through the Ohio Valley, southern Ohio Valley, and the mid-Mississippi Valley, and into Texas. This would be Monday morning. We'll see a few showers going. Again, if we get enough rain here, we could actually stabilize the atmosphere some, but I just don't think it's going to help a lot because there is going to be so much going on in the atmosphere other than just the heating, because you've got the upper level jet streak we just showed. Now you've got that cool pocket of air moving across out into the plains. Once it does so, you're going to get explosive thunderstorm growth. Here we are Monday evening, now into Oklahoma. This could be a big tornado outbreak, and they could be very strong. And again, I would watch the south side of this front too, into parts of Texas, down to San Antonio, up to Dallas, and then into Oklahoma. Now we're looking north into Kansas City and into Missouri overnight into early Tuesday morning. Everything pushing off to the east. Now we're watching southern Illinois, as we showed you there on that last map, moving into Indiana, and then things getting a little bit quieter here. So let's just keep going chronologically here. Tuesday, again, remember I talked about those thunderstorms. How will they impact the atmosphere with that latent heat release? That's going to be a big thing too. So let's see what the short-range models do, especially the NAM. I'll be interested to see how that refines once it gets this new data that gets ingested literally from the thunderstorms that haven't developed yet. Weather is really, it's a science, guys. It's not exact. I know people want to look at their phone and their app and see exactly what it's going to do. There's a lot of variables at play that sometimes these apps don't think about. But look at this. Big snow, at least on the models today. This is the GFS on Wednesday morning. Again, this is a big global model that, again, will not take into account that latent heat release from those thunderstorms. We may be getting a little too deep here in the weather side of things. I hope not. I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff. If you do, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. But look, the snow across the Northeast going strong. Not in New York, not in southern Connecticut. I don't think this is a Rhode Island storm, but Boston, you need to watch it. But once you get up into Massachusetts, up into the mountains, into the higher hills, into the higher elevations, you get up into the Green and White Mountains, I think this is a good thump of snow for you. Also into Maine. What could be the problem is if our low gets a little strong and pulls in some Atlantic warm air here, that could switch us over to maybe some rain or a mix of freezing rain, sleet, or snow. And the GFS showing that right here. And look at the snow showers going behind this system. Regardless of how much snow you see, we're literally talking about snow here on April 4th. So it's going to be cold, it's going to be windy, and it's going to stick around at least through Thursday into Friday. Look at this, a prolonged period of snow showers, and this is not an April Fool's joke. I wouldn't do that to you. And that goes all the way into the weekend. Look at this. We're into Saturday morning. We're still talking about snow showers flying, arguably from Beckley, West Virginia, northeast to Maine in the mountains. East of the mountains, not so much, but it's going to be windy here with a strong, stiff northwest breeze, maybe some rain showers with temperatures in the 40s, kind of a gross weekend for the big cities with the snow into the mountains. So how much snow are we talking for the Northeast? Well, I think a lot of this will be dependent on the track, again, of low pressure. And keep in mind, look at these numbers across Michigan, 17, 18 inches. We're talking about really from the thumb north. But do we really see that much snow? Well, let's pretend we only get a 5-to-1 snow ratio. That's still 8-9 inches of heavy slop snow. All right, across the Northeast, again, I think if you cut these numbers in half, you're close. But look, you get up into the mountains, do we see a foot of snow? I think we do, especially up into the ski resorts, extending that ski season out into spring even further. And boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, the Green and White Mountains could really pick up some snow, maybe 1.5 to 2 feet of snow. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that down into Boston. It's going to be so close here. And once you get into the valleys, even into the mountains, it's going to be tough to squeeze out a lot of snow. It is April, so you can't really look at these numbers and go, oh, that's exactly what we're going to see. So this forecast will be refined even more. Also, look at the mountains here into Pennsylvania, West Virginia, down into Tennessee and North Carolina. I've been talking about that now. Today's the third day now. I still see the snow there. So I still think it's something to watch toward the end of the week. Thursday, Friday, into Saturday. And boy, won't it be wild to see those snow showers continue into the Northeast, potentially into next weekend. All right, that's all I got on this one. I'll catch you next time.